We got to pray. Pray for me. Pray for me, Jesus. Pray for me. Pray for me, Jesus. Yes,
Old Israelite colleagues tell me, well, you know, the prophets do prophecy and ain't no gospel. I'm going to tell you something. Gospel is preached by the prophets and the apostles. If you are a New Testament Christian or you're Old Testament scholar, if you in truth one, you are the other. Because the prophets and the apostles gave the same message because God sent one message. And one message alone, he just told it a whole lot of different ways by a whole lot of different prophets in a whole lot of different times, sisters and brothers. So the Lord calls me to put this lesson together, to let you know, to show you that I could just pick one prophet. I could have picked Jeremiah. I could have picked Isaiah. I could have picked Ezekiel or any of the other prophets and gave you the same message because there ain't but one message, sisters and brothers. And it's given by one God, and we're going to show you that the one that brought the message to man is Jesus, New and Old Testament. I always kind of chuckle when I hear somebody say, well, you know, I like Christ. He's a soft God. He's an easygoing God. But that God of the Old Testament, he's harsh. Sisters and brothers, it is time for you to be educated. And we're going to show you that you don't have but one that's been dictating, and we're just going to do it this time from the prophet Zechariah. We're going to start this in Zechariah, the 1st chapter. Because the whole thing is the big problem with us is nobody reads the Bible. Everybody deals with tradition. And half of the stuff that you have learned in church, no, I'm not going to be that bountiful. 90% of you learning stuff you learn in church is wrong. It's all that simple. Like I tell people all the time, I won't ask you to show me one time, two times what the Lord is going to take me to heaven, take us to heaven. I said, show it to me one time. But that's all people talk about. Casual conversation. Well, you know, when I get to heaven, I just listen. I got tired of asking the question, show that to me. Well, you know it's in there somewhere. Is it? But we're going to deal with it according to the prophet. But we're going to show you it's no different from the apostles. And when we go from Old Testament to New Testament, from prophet to apostle, the message is the same, sisters and brothers. Now we're going to start this out with the 70 years that the Lord put Israel in captivity. Most people say, well, you know, the Lord had cast Israel away. Yeah, he cast Israel away when the whole creation is cast away. But until he's done that, the Lord is still dealing with and through a people. Zechariah, the 1st chapter, and we're going to start reading at verse 7. Because now Zechariah is being informed about this angel, about the plight of Israel and the state of the world. And once we get through with this, we'll find out that this is from the beginning to the end. Verse 7, go ahead.
Upon the 24th day of the 11th month, which is the month Sabbath, in the 2nd year of Darius, came the word of the Lord unto Zechariah, the son of Berechiah, son of Iddo, the prophet, saying, I saw by night, and behold, a man riding a red horse, and he stood among the myrtle trees that were in the bottom. And behind him there were red horses, speckled and white. Then said I, O my Lord, what are these? And the angel that talked with me said unto me, I will shew thee what these be.
Now look. When the angel showed Zechariah these 4 horsemen, because that's what they were, sisters and brothers, we're going to find out that these are the same 4 that the Lord used to control this world. So he said, will you tell me what these are? Go ahead and read.
And the man that stood among the myrtle trees answered and said, These are they whom the Lord hath sent to walk to and fro through the earth. And they answered the angel of the Lord that stood among the myrtle tree.
Go ahead.
And said, We have walked to and fro through the earth, and behold, all the earth sitteth still and is at rest.
Now look, the Lord is controlling this earth, sisters and brothers, because this man have a great hunger for committing suicide. He's always trying to kill himself. He's always coming up with weapons that can kill himself, like Russia, America, China. Everybody have enough nuclear weapons to destroy the earth 100 times. And the only reason that they don't is because the Lord is controlling it, sisters and brothers. That's why he got these 4 horsemen walking around, and they said, look, the whole of it walk to and fro through the earth, and the whole earth is at rest because they're keeping it there. Go ahead and read.
12. Then the angel of the Lord answered and said, O Lord of hosts, how long wilt thou not have mercy on Jerusalem and the cities of Judah, against which thou hast had indignation these 70 years?
Look, he said the whole earth is at rest, but Judah and Israel is still in turmoil, sisters and brothers, even to this day. And he asked the question, how long will it be then? The whole earth is at rest. How long will it be that you will have indignation against Israel that you've had these 70 years? So the Lord is going to answer him. Go ahead and read.
And the Lord answered the angel that talked with me with good words and comfortable words. So the angel that communed with me said unto me,
Go ahead.
Cry thou, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem,
Go ahead.
and for Zion with a great jealousy. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction.
He said, look, I want you to tell them that I'm jealous for Jerusalem, with a great jealousy. I was just a little displeased with Israel. But the nation, that's heathen. People think heathen is some derogatory word. That's just another word for nation. He said, but I was just a little pleased with the children of Israel, but the nation have furthered the affliction. Sure, I sent them into captivity. I sent them to be sold as female slaves and male slaves, but I didn't mean for you to beat them all the time, starve them half the time, and just misuse them. So I am going to repay you. And we're going to see that, sisters and brothers. So now, he said, but still, I want to show you something here. Go ahead and read. What verse?
16. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, I am returned to Jerusalem with mercies. My house shall be built in it, saith the Lord of hosts, and a line shall be stretched forth upon Jerusalem.
Now, he's letting you know that he's going to return to Jerusalem, sisters and brothers. This thing that you think that the Lord is going to come down in the cloud and rapture you off and take everybody back to heaven, we're going to show you that is simply not the case. He said, I return to Jerusalem, and my house shall be built in it. Go ahead and read.
Cry yet, saying, Thus saith the Lord of hosts, My cities through prosperity shall yet be spread abroad.
Go ahead.
And the Lord shall yet comfort Zion, and shall yet choose Jerusalem.
He said, I want you to let them know that still my cities are going to be spread abroad. But you say, well, you know, the cities are already in Jerusalem. Look, sisters and brothers, when the Lord take Israel back, he told you ain't nobody going to be afraid. Then the other thing is, Israel as a people cannot go back until Jesus returned. Otherwise, this whole Bible is wrong. Now, but he said, look, I want you to tell them my city is going to be spread abroad. But when? After these 70 years that the angels asked the Lord, how long will you have indignation against Israel? So where did he get these 70 years from? He got it from the prophet Jeremiah, because Jeremiah was the one that the Lord, one of the prophets that the Lord sent to prophesy to Israel and told them, look, how long will you keep sinning against me? But Israel wouldn't hear. Let's go and have a look at it. But keep your marker here, because we're going to be in and out of Zechariah the whole afternoon. Because this gospel is being brought by the prophet of Zechariah to let you know that one prophet can call everything in every generation. Now let's go into Jeremiah the 25th chapter, because we want to see what the angel alluded to when he said, how long will it be that you're going to have this indignation even for these 70 years? Jeremiah 25. Jeremiah the 25th chapter. And we're going to start reading at verse 1. See, the whole thing, sisters and brothers, sooner or later somebody had to come along and read this Bible. Everybody want to read you a verse and give you an hour of rendition of what he believed the verse said. We don't do it here. We're going to read it like it is, and wherever it falls, it's going to fall. But don't nobody want to read it like it is, because when you start reading this Bible the way it is, it can get pretty scary. But then the Lord intended for it to be scary. That's why he said the fear of the Lord. Don't nobody fear the Lord. That's why I can't understand that. I said, if you don't fear the Lord, that means you ain't never heard about it. You have heard a name. Jeremiah 25, and let's start at verse 1. We're going to learn something here. What's going to happen? Zechariah saw this, and he's going to call it blow by blow, sisters and brothers. Verse 1, go ahead.
The word that came to Jeremiah concerning all the people of Judah in the 4th year of Jehoiakim, the son of Josiah, king of Judah, that was the 1st year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon.
Now look, the Lord told this guy this in the time of Jehoiakim and in the time that the first Gentile ruler that ruled the whole world took over. This is the 1st year of Nebuchadnezzar. This is when he was given this message. Go ahead and read.
The which Jeremiah the prophet spake unto all the people of Judah and to all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, saying, From the 13th year of Josiah the son of Ammon, king of Judah, even unto this day, there is the 23rd year. The word of the Lord hath come unto me, and I have spoken unto you, rising early and speaking, but ye have not hearkened.
He said, look, I've been coming to you from 13 to 23. That means for 10 years I've been coming. Rising early every morning, coming to you and telling you, listen to the Lord. But didn't nobody listen, sisters and brothers. He said, and you will not listen. This is a problem. We don't like to listen, sisters and brothers. We like to do what's on our mind. But so look what the Lord said. Skip down to verse 8. Verse 8 and go ahead.
Therefore thus saith the Lord of hosts, because ye have not heard my words.
Because you have not heard my word. Go ahead.
Behold, I will send and take all the families of the north, saith the Lord, and Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, my servant, and will bring them against this land,
go ahead,
and against the inhabitants thereof, and against all these nations round about, and will utterly destroy them, and make them an astonishment, and a hissing, and perpetual desolation.
He said, look, because you will not listen to me, I'm going to go to the north and take all the families of the north. I'm going to take Nebuchadnezzar and I'm going to bring him down on you. And I'm going to destroy this land, not only the land of Judah, but all the little cities around. Why? Because you will not listen. And this is what people got to find out, that if you don't listen to God, somebody's going to suffer. Go ahead and read.
Moreover, I will take from them the voice of myrrh, and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom, and the voice of the bride, the sound of the millstones, and the light of the candle. And this whole land shall be a desolation and an astonishment, and these nations shall serve the king of Babylon 70 years. He
said, I'm going to come and I'm going to take away all your pleasures, because I'm going to have Nebuchadnezzar come in and tear out everything you find dainty and holy, and you're going to serve him for 70 years. Well, sisters and brothers, that's exactly what you did. You served Nebuchadnezzar for 70 years. But this went beyond this guy's time. And we're going to show you this, because there are things that's said here that simply don't fit in his time. Go ahead and read.
And it shall come to pass, when 70 years are accomplished, that I will punish the king of Babylon and that nation, saith the Lord, for their iniquity, and the land of the Chaldean, and will make it perpetual desolation.
Now, the Lord did not punish Babylon that Nebuchadnezzar was there. When Nebuchadnezzar, he died, then his son Belshazzar took over. Then his son Belshazzar threw a great big old feast for all his concubines and wives and his princes. Then he sent to the house of God, to the treasury, and brought up the holy vessels that was taken out of the house of God by his father Nebuchadnezzar. And the Lord didn't like it, so he sent a hand with the fingers and wrote into the plaster. That's why you got the term handwriting on the wall. He wrote into the plaster on the wall. So look, you have been weighed in the balance. So no, he said, and you have been found wanting. I have numbered your kingdom, and I have ended it. And behold, I have given your kingdom to the Medes and the Persians, sisters and brothers. And that very night, God sent somebody in there and had him assassinated. Well, you know the Lord do stuff like that? Yes, the Lord do stuff like that. First thing, he had Judah and all them cities taken down because they refused to listen. And now he sent this, he got Nebuchadnezzar, and he killed him. Then he killed his son, sisters and brothers. Because his son went in there and they dealt with the holy vessels. But what verse are we?
13.
Go ahead.
And I will bring upon that land all my words which I have pronounced against it.
Go ahead.
Even all that is written in this book, which Jeremiah hath prophesied against all the nations.
He's now going to bring this to pass. So when Nebuchadnezzar died, his son inherited. His son got assassinated, and then Darius the Median inherited the kingdom, sisters and brothers. Who are the Medians? The Russians. Because the next nations to come up to rule after Nebuchadnezzar, the Babylonians, was the Medes and the Persians. Who are the Persians? The Iranians. That's why I know we got all this saber rattling about what we're going to do to Iran. You get this little guy, president of Iran, he get up talking crazy, everybody walking out of it on him. Because they ain't going to do nothing to him. You got this old man that was running for president a while back talking stupid, talking about bomb Iran. They ain't going to bomb Iran. You know why? Because the Medes are still there. Russia. So you ain't going to touch my ancient partner. People don't know who the Medes and the Persians are. Russia and Iran. But because they don't understand it, that's why the United States ain't stupid. They run over there and kick Iraq in the teeth. They slap Afghanistan down. But this man here got all kind of nuclear weapons going on, and they ain't doing nothing, but we going to starve you a little bit. They take a carrot off the table. Russia put a bushel in the back door. You know why? Because this ancient friendship goes much further than this man's knowledge. So when Nebuchadnezzar get taken down, the Medes, the Russians, inherited. Darius the Mede. Darius was a Russian. He inherited the kingdom. And after him came the Persian. But nobody took Nebuchadnezzar's Babylon down by force, sisters and brothers. All you got to do is go into history and read it. Plus, there's another thing that said that's going to happen to Babylon that we know didn't happen. Go ahead and read.
14. For many nations and great kings shall serve themselves of them also. And I will recompense them according to their deeds and according to the works of their own hands.
So that means that this Babylon is going to be taken down by many nations. There's going to be a conglomerate of nations that's going to take Babylon down. So what Babylon is this then? The one that the Lord called by Jeremiah and also by Revelation, Babylon the Great. Where is Babylon the Great? You're looking at them right now. The European Economic Community, sisters and brothers. This is the resurrection of the old Roman Empire, but it's also Babylon the Great. And when this thing happens, we're going to show you that it's going to be a conglomerate of Eastern nations coming against a conglomerate of Western nations. And the Western's going to start losing, however, because the weapons are so big, Jesus is going to have to intervene. Otherwise, like it said in Matthew, there would be no flesh saved. But ain't nobody thinking about that because they think this kind of stuff shouldn't be talked about in church. This is the very place it should be talked about. Because the God that you said that you know about is the one that's going to bring it to pass. I'm going to show you this. Go ahead and read what verse?
15.
Go ahead.
For thus saith the Lord God of Israel unto me, take the wine cup of this fury at my hand, and cause all the nations to whom I send thee to drink it.
He said, now I want you to take the wine cup of my fury. In other words, let you know I'm going to bring pain on everybody, and I want you to take it to all of the nations. Everybody got to drink of this. Go ahead and read.
And they shall drink and be moved and be mad because of the sword that I will send among them.
See, they're going to be mad because of the sword that I'm going to send among them. People think that man is controlling this thing. Man can do all kind of evil stuff, but the Lord called it, sisters and brothers. He said, I want everybody to drink. In case somebody don't want to drink, it's something I want you to tell them here. Skip down to verse 27. Verse 27, and go ahead.
Therefore thou shalt say unto them, thus saith the Lord of hosts, the God of Israel, drink ye and be drunken, and spew and fall, and rise no more, because of the sword which I will send among you.
Now look, when these nations are taken down, there ain't going to be no more rising no more of the nation, sisters and brothers, because the Lord is going to take this world down, and it's going to take it down hard. I can even read it in the book of Habakkuk. He said the Lord is going to invade them with his truth. This man don't have a clue of what's going on. Not even the smallest clue. He says they're going to spew and they're going to fall and they are not going to stand again. The Lord going to run it all. Go ahead and read.
And it shall be, if they refuse to take the cup at thine hand to drink, then shalt thou say unto them, thus saith the Lord of hosts, ye shall certainly drink.
He says, how you going to get something? No, that ain't going to happen to us. Look, the Lord said, you tell them, Jeremiah, that they're going to certainly drink. Ain't nobody going to escape this. Why? Go ahead and read.
For lo, I began to bring evil on the city.
So
which
look,
is called,
I began to bring evil on the city that's called by my name. Go ahead and read.
And should ye be utterly unpunished, ye shall not be unpunished.
And you think that you are going to escape? You shall not escape. Go ahead and read.
For I will call for a sword upon all the inhabitants of the earth, saith the Lord of hosts.
Go ahead.
Therefore prophesy thou against them all these words, and say unto them, the Lord shall roar from on high, and utter his voice from his holy habitation.
Go ahead.
He shall mightily roar upon his habitation. He shall give a shout as they that tread the grapes against all the inhabitants of the earth.
He said, look, I want you to tell these nations something. That I'm going to punish everybody. All the nations are going to be dealt with. Because I'm going to roar from on high, and that's when he started coming from heaven. Everybody want to see where the Lord shall descend with a shout. But he ain't just coming to raise the dead and to change the living. The Lord is coming to fight. He said he's going to roar from on high. And he's going to give a shout. Go ahead and read.
A noise shall come even to the ends of the earth. For the Lord hath a controversy with the nations.
Go ahead.
He will plead with all flesh. He will give them that are wicked to the sword, saith the Lord.
Thus, now look, he said, look, that when he comes, he is going to give a shout, and he is going to tread the winepress, sisters and brothers, because that means the Lord is going to kill a lot of people. When you go into Revelation, he tell you that he's going to kill many people until the blood is going to be up to the horse's brow. Ain't nobody ready for this. It's saying the slain, and go ahead and read what verse?
32. Thus saith the Lord of hosts, behold, evil shall go forth from nation to nation.
Wait a minute now. The Lord is holy. He don't do evil. What did we just read here?
Evil shall go forth.
Evil shall go forth from nation to nation. Go ahead and read.
And a great whirlwind shall be raised up from the coast of the earth. And the slain of the Lord shall be at that day from one end of the earth even unto the other end of the earth.
Now you said the slain of the Lord. That means the Lord is going to kill a lot of people. From where? From one end of the earth even to the other end of the earth, sisters and brothers. We're going to find out that this is Jesus we're talking about here. The one that everybody that made soft with a powder puff and love everybody. We're going to see how much he loves everybody. The slain of the Lord going to be from one end of the earth to the other. Go ahead and read.
They shall not be lamented, neither gathered nor buried. They shall be dung upon the ground.
Look, the Lord is going to kill so many people until you won't have enough people to bury them. That's why it tells you in Revelation, also tells you in Isaiah, that he's going to call for the birds of prey and for the beasts of the field to eat these bodies. So the birds going to win on them and the beasts going to sum on them. There's going to be a whole lot of dead people, sisters and brothers. This is right here in this Bible here. That's why I don't know why they want to teach it, because they want to make it all nice and give you some nice, sweet Norman Rockwell beauty for stories. But it's not like that, sisters and brothers. Now, the Lord told Zechariah about this. And this is what the angel was talking about. And asked the Lord, how long is it going to be? These 70 years, so all this time the whole earth is at rest, but still Israel is in trouble. The Lord said, look, I got something for them too. Because during this same time, I am going to bring everybody to the end of the street, and I'm going to beat everybody up at one time. I mean the whole nation, sister, the whole world, sister and brother. Now let's go back to Zechariah, and the Lord's going to start telling you, I told you to keep your place there, how he going to do it. He's going to give it to you in increments. We're going to deal with it a piece at a time. Zechariah 1, and this time let's start at verse 18. Zechariah 1 and 18. Okay, go ahead.
Then lifted I up mine eyes, and saw, and behold, 4 horns. And I said unto the angel that talked with me, what be these? And he answered me, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem.
Now he showed him a vision of 4 horns. He looked up and he asked the question, what are these? He said, these are the horns that scattered Judah, Israel, and Jerusalem. These are the horns, sisters and brothers. So just looking at that, you wouldn't have a clue. So keep your marker here. Let's go and run them down and see who these are talking about. Let's go into Daniel's the 7th chapter. That's the way you have to do it. The Lord told you by the mouth of Isaiah. You learn that he's going to teach you wisdom by taking you here a little and there a little. Line up on line and precept upon precept. Because we have to read this Bible, sisters and brothers. Too many people have told you what they believe. And what you believe and reality could be on different ends of the spectrum. Daniel 7 and 1. Daniel 7 and 1. Daniel the 7th chapter, we're going to start at verse 1. Okay, read it.
In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and vision of his head upon his bed.
Go ahead.
Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and behold, the four winds of the heavens strode upon the great sea.
He said, now look, I saw in my vision, and I saw four winds of heaven strode up on the sea. That's what that book was about, sisters and brothers. The Lord calls us to produce the four winds of heaven. Who are these? Go ahead and read.
And four great beasts came up from the sea, diverse one from another.
And four great beasts. Who are they? Go ahead and read.
The first was like a lion, and had eagle's wings.
Go ahead.
I beheld till the wings thereof was plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man.
Now, go ahead.
And a man's heart was given to it.
Now, this beast was the Babylonian Empire, sisters and brothers. All you got to do is go in and read history book. Babylon, under Nebuchadnezzar, was the first nation to rule the whole known planet. People say, well, what about Egypt? Egypt was a great civilization, sisters and brothers, but Egypt didn't rule the whole planet. Ain't but four nations to rule the whole planet, sisters and brothers, and that was Babylon. They was all Gentile nations. First thing was Babylon. Go ahead and read.
And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear. And it raised up on one side.
Go ahead.
And it had three ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it.
Go ahead.
And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh. After this I beheld.
Now look, and who was this in the Medo-Persian Empire? Even when you go to Russia, sisters and brothers, they still have their same old symbol, a bear. He said, devour much flesh. That's the second horn. All of these people help scatter Israel. Go ahead and read.
After this I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it four wings of a fowl. The beast had also four heads, and dominion was given to it.
Now the third one was the Greek Empire. Why did this leopard have four wings of a fowl? Because Alexander, when he took over the Greek Empire, after his father, Philip the Barbarian, was assassinated, he took the world so quick, it's almost like the man didn't even touch the ground. And the reason that the leopard had four heads, because when Alexander got control of all the known world, he died at a young age. And he had no blood successor with any strength to take over. So now his generals, five of them particularly, got to fighting over the kingdom. And when the dust went down, four of them was in control. So these four generals split the Greek Empire up. And one that's real known is like Ptolemy, the one that took over Egypt. That's why you would have a Greek name like a city of Alexandria. Why is it that you have an Alexandria in Egypt on the African continent? Because it was ruled by Ptolemy the Greek. Then when Ptolemy died, his daughter took over. Who was that? Cleopatra. Cleopatra was not Egyptian, sisters and brothers. Cleopatra was Greek. So that's the third one that helped dispatch Israel and scatter them. Go ahead and read.
7. After this I saw in the night vision, and behold, a fourth beast, dreadful and terrible, and strong exceedingly, and it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with the feet of it.
Go ahead.
And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it, and it had 10 horns.
Now this was the Roman Empire. All you got to do is go into history and look at the nations that rule this world. You'll find out it was Babylon, Medo-Persia, Greece, and Rome in order. I mean, just the way the prophet called it. Go ahead and read.
I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the roots.
Go ahead.
And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of a man, and a mouth speaking great things.
Now, out of this Roman Empire came a little horn. This is a religious man, sisters and brothers. He is stationed in Rome right now. But he said, this fourth beast was a terrible beast. Look, all of them the Lord had something in the kingdom to liken them to. Like Medo-Persia, that was a lion with eagle's wings. With Babylonia. And the Medo-Persian was a bear. The Greek was a leopard with four heads. But the Roman, it just said a terrible beast. Why is it that it's so terrible? Because the Babylonian Empire went and it's gone physically. Medo-Persian Empire ruled and it's gone. That don't mean the people died. That means it came to power when they fell from power. Then the Greek Empire come up under Alexander the Great, and now it's gone. But the Roman Empire was the rise and fall 10 times. And how are they living now? They're living through religion, sisters and brothers. That's why I tell people all the time. I hear people say, well, I'm a Catholic. I say, no, you're not. Well, what am I then? You are a Roman Catholic. Because everything that you have come out of Rome, sisters and brothers. Even though it is the custom of Hamites, all the stuff that you call holy right now come directly from Rome. Tomorrow, first day of the week, they say, well, this is the Christian Sabbath day. Come from Rome. Going to heaven, come from Rome. Jesus born on the 25th day of December, come from Rome. Jesus died on Easter Sunday, on Good Friday and rose Easter Sunday morning. Come from Rome. They're all paganism. Yes. But all you got to do is go read it. But people get insulted when you tell them. Then somebody jump up and say, well, I ain't no Roman Catholic. I say, well, what are you new? What are you then? Well, I'm Baptist, I'm Methodist, I'm Lutheran. I say, you Roman Catholic too? How you going to call me that? I say, every 25th day of December, I can go in your living room and you got this great big tree sitting there. That's right. But Jeremiah told you in the 10th chapter, the Lord said, don't do this. He said, go not in the way of the nations. So this guy, this fourth beast, which is this Roman Empire, was so terrible until the Lord couldn't name it after nothing because it destroyed you physically and then they have destroyed you spiritually. The whole world is drunk on Roman Christianity, not God's Christianity. So out of this came, so it's no accident that out of them came another little horn, which is a religious horn. And this religious horn have indignation against everybody that will serve the Lord. Skip down to verse 21. Verse 21, and go ahead. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints and prevailed against them. And so that's why, because this religious horn, he wants to convert everybody to paganism. He says, so he beheld, he looked, until this same horn made war with the saints. These are the people that really deal with the truth, sisters and brothers. Not embrace the saints, not kiss the saints, made war with the saints, and they prevailed. That means this guy was winning. That's why I hear a lot of preachers always running around talking about saints get ready. I say, if you're a saint, you better find out what you're going to have to come into. He made war, and he prevailed. Ain't prevail mean he was winning? Yes. Go ahead and read what verse? 22. Until the Ancient of Days came. Until the Ancient of Days came. That means he's going to win a long time. You know who the Ancient of Days is? Jesus. Go ahead and read. And judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. But this judgment was given to the saints. No matter what he did, eventually in the end time, the judgment was given to the saints of the Most High, and the saints possessed the kingdom. What kingdom is this? Let's find out. Skip right on down to verse 26. Verse 26. And go ahead. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion, to consume and to destroy it unto the end. So the judgment going to sit, and they're going to take away this rulership of finally this Roman beast, sisters and brothers, and the little horn that's going to be pushing the religious end of it. And then they're going to take it away. Go ahead. And what kingdom is this? Go ahead and read. And the kingdom and dominion. And the kingdom and dominion. And the greatness of the kingdom. And the greatness of the kingdom. Under the whole heaven. Under the whole heaven, sisters and brothers. It said under the whole heaven. Go ahead and read. Shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High. Whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom. And all dominions shall serve and obey him. Look, sisters and brothers, Jesus is not going to come and steal people up off this earth. And when he raised the dead, he's not going to take them to heaven. He is going to come, and he is going to take this earth down, sisters and brothers, by war. And once the war is over with, he's going to be here, and he's going to run it for 1,000 years until the time till he get it in order, and then he's going to bring the Father down. But until that time, sisters and brothers, we got to deal with this. So he said, look, the kingdom, he's going to take it away from these people. He's going to take it away from man. He's going to take it away from the Gentiles, and he's going to run it. But you might say, Brother Boy, he mean he's going to take it from the non-believers? That's what you mean by that. Because, a non-believer, that's a Gentile. That is so wrong. The Gentile is a bloodline. What we call Gentile, the sons of Japhet, which are the Europeans of what we just simply call white people. They run it, sisters and brothers. Why do they run it? Because God gave it to them and can't nobody take it away until the time comes. I tell people all the time, the book will let you know that God gave every one of Noah's son an opportunity to run this earth. Started out with Ham and Nimrod. He blew the mission. Started with Shem, with Israel, and also the Samaritan, Marian, and all Abraham's seed. They blew the mission. Now it's in the hands of the Gentiles. They blowing the mission. So when the Lord come take it down, can't nobody say, we did it better. Because he gave every one of them time to do it. So now when he come, he is going to take it. And he's going to take it by force. And Jesus is going to set his kingdom up on this earth. And we're going to show you here why after why. But before that happens, he has to take it. Let's go and look at the taking of this earth by the Lord. Let's go back to Zechariah, the 1st chapter. I'm just letting you know, Zechariah called all his sisters and brothers. He saw all of this stuff. You know, like John said, he was in the Spirit on the Lord's day. I have news for you. Every prophet was in the Spirit on the Lord's day. Because every one of them saw what the Lord was going to do in the future. Everyone. That's why I could have gave this same lesson from the book of Jeremiah. I could have gave this same lesson from the book of Ezekiel. Because all of them talk about the same thing. Because the Lord had one message. He's giving it to you over and over and over so you will understand what he means so you can do the thing to protect yourself. Because he is not going to save you in spite of yourself. Whoever told you that lied to you. They must be working for Satan, trying to get you cut off. You are the only one that can deliver yourself. And you got to take time and learn how. Now Zechariah 1, and he shows Zechariah something else. Zechariah 1 and 20. 1 and 20. Okay, read it.
And the Lord shewed me 4 carpenters.
So now the Lord showed me 4 carpenters, and quite naturally he want to know who they are. Go ahead and read.
Then said I, what come these to do? And he spake, saying, these are the horns which have scattered Judah, so that no man did lift up his head. But these are come to fray them, to cast out the horns of the Gentiles, which lifted up their horns over the land of Judah to scatter it.
He said, first, these 4 horns I showed you at first, these are the ones that scattered Judah and Jerusalem, that no man could deliver them. But these 4 carpenters are the ones that going to fray or run off the Gentiles. And they're going to overthrow the horns of the Gentiles. Because from Nebuchadnezzar down into the coming of the Lord, the Gentiles are running it, sisters and brothers, the children of Japhet. They're running it. And they're going to run it until the Lord comes. He said, but these 4 are going to fray the Gentiles. Let's see who these 4 are. It's the same one that we talked about that's keeping the earth in order. Now when it's time for chaos to come on earth, controlled chaos that is, these same 4 are going to be the one that's called upon. Let's go into Revelation, the 7th chapter. Revelation, the 7th chapter. Because the Lord wrote all this down, and he had it put in so many different ways. He said, if I write it from the left, from the right, up and down, sooner or later, somebody going to discover it. But the only problem is, when you go to church, don't nobody read the Bible. They give you pretty stories. I was looking at TV one time, a guy telling me how he had a little old bitty car trying to pull up a stump. And it was working because the little car had faith. I wanted to kick the TV out. I couldn't believe half of this stuff. You know, I'm going to tell you something. That's why the world messed up. Because I can't believe that people go to church and listen to fairy tales that was told to them in kindergarten. Revelation 7 and 1. Now the Lord is getting ready to throw out the horns of the Gentiles. In other words, he's getting ready to take this earth down. But before he do it, his people will have gone through a time that's called the Great Tribulation, sisters and brothers. It's going to be a terrible time. A time so bad until if you don't have a mark that's called the mark of the beast, you won't be able to buy or sell. You get starved out. It's going to be so bad until you get caught teaching anything other than that particular religion, you can end up losing your life. And the Lord said, gave you a sign. He said, look, the mark of the beast, which is going to be in your forehead and in your right hand. Oh, brother boy, I ain't going to let nobody put nothing in my forehead and in my right hand. I got news for you. They're doing it to you every Ash Wednesday. But because you don't read the Bible, you don't even know. I said, this is so crazy. It is written right in the last book in the Bible, Revelation. The Lord said, this is the mark of the beast. Anybody that have this mark, I'm going to destroy. And every Ash Wednesday, you line it up, let somebody put it on you. You notice? It's in your right hand and your forehead. They don't ever put it on your arm or behind your neck.
Lord, I need you now. Pray up for me. Pray up for me, Jesus. Intercede.